Yep. And I got something. Son of a bitch. All right. That's going. That's going. That's going. All right. I think we're good to go. Oh, yeah. Got. All right. Now we're ready to go. One St. Petersburg man's quest to quiet a condo's parking garage bell. Christ, he looks so proud of himself. A parking garage warning bell in downtown is noise pollution. Ask Fred Sherman. Is that the name of the guy from Finding Nemo? Fuck, this is fucking me fun. Bill Sherman. Okay. Never mind. Never mind. All right. St. Petersburg, Florida. Fred Sherman has got to be the city's foremost expert on the sound of local parking garages. A retired gold supplier from New York's Westchester County was dressed for a golf lesson when he demonstrated this arcane knowledge on a recent afternoon tour downtown. The Hyatt has a voice that says, "Attention, vehicle exiting," he said. Signature Palace has a light that says, "Car coming." The McNulty here has a sign or a flashing device with some audio. Pointed out several other parking garage alarms meant to alert pedestrians that a car is exiting. Noted that which garages have no such warning. The systems are not a requirement, but they can protect against lawsuit. Sherman ended his stroll into the main attraction, a gray metal bell that you might picture hanging above old high school, mounted over the sidewalk on First Street Northeast. A Volvo pulled up to the gate and waited to exit the garage. The bell wailed like an alarm clock in an old Looney Tunes short. See, Sherman said. The Volvo pulled down. The bell rang again 2 times, and this goes on all day and night. It sounds like inmates are escaping. The bell is mounted on the Ovation, exclusive Beach Drive condo tower, where units go for more than $2.5 million. Sherman hears the bell from his 31st floor condo at 1 St. Petersburg, a different condo tower a block south where units typically go for more than $1.5 million. He wants it to stop. It's noise pollution. I almost used the word evil, he said. And once you notice it, you can't stop noticing it. People say, "Fred, why'd you point it out to me?" Over 2 years, Sherman says he's tried everything to get someone with authority over the bell to have a conversation with him to discuss changing to a quieter option. Maybe a nice buzzer, he said. He's tried various means, contacting Ovation's condo board, including sending messages through acquaintances who lived there. He enlisted the president of the condo association for building-to-building diplomacy with their president, and calls were not returned. He tracked down multiple property managers and their bosses. Nothing. Lawyers turned him away. Police told him that there was nothing they could do. The bell does not appear to violate city noise ordinances and serve a legitimate safety purpose, St. Petersburg told the Tampa Bay Times. Sherman surveyed his neighbors and people who worked nearby. Yes, they were annoyed. No, they weren't going to do much. Former St. Petersburg Art Alliance director John Collins told the Times the rigging was so annoying in his office area across the street from the Ovation, he worked for his and his co-workers' health until he moved out. Desperate for info, Sherman befriended a maintenance man he sometimes saw emptying the trash cans outside. He tried questioning Ovation's residents as they left the garage. Some got upset. Had they all been warned or not to talk to him, he wondered. Inexplicably, a clear plastic lockbox showed up and encased the bell. I think, he said, turning conspiratorial, they put it up there to stop me from vandalizing it. What the fuck is this guy? The Ovation's owner association and company that manages the building declined to speak with the Times about the bell. None of this is like him, said, describing himself as a deadhead who would rather smoke a joint and sit on the couch than confront someone. He expects noise in the downtown area, traffic, bars, music festivals, constructions, all fine. Even parking garage alarms are fine, but this bell is, he believes, unnecessarily great. Law is one thing, he said. What about just being a good neighbor? This is kind of the epitome of rich white people problem, isn't it? He said. Matthew Widener, a real estate attorney in St. Petersburg, former president of a downtown neighborhood association who was not involved but was amused. Sherman understands the criticism. He knows it's a grievance of Larry David-esque proportions, but he said he is finally, in his retirement, taking a stand against needless annoyances. Part of the issue is with noise pollution in cities is that few people study it or think about it. Daniel Steele, co-founder of Sound in the City Lab at McGill University of Montreal. When people do think about urban noise, it's already a problem, usually looking for ways to muffle it. Steele hopes his research can inspire public policy and design that considers the soundscape up front. He takes city planners, politicians, and architects on sound walks, a term coined in the 1970s by the first acoustic ecologists. Basically, you walk around a place and prioritize lists. Not what humans usually do. It's an opening experience, Steele said, and can give people a denser sense of place. Anyone can do it. There's a long way to go, he said, but some designs have gotten better in recent years. You may have noticed those Amazon delivery trucks that make a sort of hoarse whoosh whoosh sound when they back up instead of the beeping loudly. They still alert people in the truck's path, but don't aggravate people a block away. Steele said research shows that an annoying, intermittent, unexpected sound can have physiological effects like raising someone's blood pressure. He said it's common for people who hear nuisances to have trouble figuring out who's responsible for remedying them, which can add to their... Jeff Terrozas owns past signs, which makes parking garage warning systems that use a bell to tell people a car is approaching and have volume controls and timers that quiet them at night. He's frequently called on to replace systems with old-school mechanical bells. When I designed them, I didn't want them to be a nuisance, he said, because then people start ignoring them. If you have a noise issue in America, though, you probably wouldn't be satisfied waiting for better public policy or better design, said environmental psychologist Arlene Bronzaft. In her 50-year career, she's published several books and lots of research on the impact of noise, starting with noisy trains passing a school that severely impacted children's abilities to learn. She served as an advisor on noise for 5 New York City mayors and remained a board member for GROW NYC, formerly the Council of Environment. You might expect an academic like Bronzaft to let her research speak for itself while others figure out how to use it practically, but when New York's residents reached out about noise to GROW NYC's website, there's a good chance Bronzaft will personally contact their noisy neighbor to ask them to quiet down. It's the only way anything gets done is to talk to people directly, she said, and I like to help people. See, this is a bold-faced fucking lie because he lives in New York. He's dealt with rickety air conditioners and people who installed a basketball court in a basketball court in an apartment bedroom. What the fuck? He convinced people to move their bed away from the wall so their sex wouldn't keep waking their neighbor up. St. Petersburg residents have made more than 30,000 calls to police in the past 10 years over nuisance noise, record show. The pandemic didn't curb their calls. There were 3,668 calls in 2020, close to 200 more in 2019. This year is on track for slightly fewer, and the vast majority of those calls do not warrant even a written report from police. Of the 2,982 calls this year, only 31 became police. Good lord, is this guy padding for a word count? Both former President Widener and current Downtown Neighborhood Association President Karen Carmichael said they think noise in St. Petersburg is less of a concern among residents than it was years ago when there were prominent fights over the sound of nightlife and proposed changes in the sound ordinance. It was kind of the old guard back then, and just a few very local residents, Widener said. Now people who move to downtown are doing it because they like the lifestyle. Sounds of a downtown are the Coast Guard bugle playing reveille at 8 a.m., the helicopter landing on the roof of the Bayfront Health, and partiers riding past on the Pedal Pub. There's a guy who cranks Purple Rain from his bicycle. There's a flock of feral Nande parakeets, unique and ominous sound of fast winds moving through the rails of the whooshing water wall at Signature Palace, that stupid rat rod that revs its engine on Central Avenue, sirens, construction. These were all listed on a Facebook post asking residents what they consider signature sound of downtown and their favorites. The insane and insistent school bell ringing from the Ovation building hundreds of times a day, 24/7, wrote Fred Sherman below all of them. Sherman paid a lawyer $5,000 to file a nuisance lawsuit against Ovation Owners Association, claiming it had affected his sleep and his ability to enjoy his condo. He finally heard back from them. In response filed in civil court, the association's lawyers say removing the alarm would be a grand disservice to the public, as the alarm is used to avoid catastrophic collisions between outgoing cars and individuals traversing the sidewalk. It also said Sherman failed to show what the bell was more than a trifling annoyance or discomfort as required by law. A judge on November 19th referred the case to private mediation. So let's see what this bell sounds like. So it's just a school bell. It's not even that bad. So I'm running that through a noise compressor, so that might be... I wonder what his life will be like if he gets his wish. Serial bank robber dubbed I-4 Bandit arrested, Clearwater police say. 2 decades after David Mark Ratcliffe was suspected of robbing up to 19 banks along Interstate 4 corridor, he struck again Tuesday, police said. I would like to note 2 first names, as always. Trust him. What's wrong with his... Police say David Mark Ratcliffe was arrested Tuesday in connection to a bank robbery in Clearwater. Ratcliffe, the so-called I-4 bandit, was convicted of robbing 6 banks in Clearwater, Tampa, and Orlando in the late 90s. He was suspected of committing several others along Interstate 4 corridor. Serial bank robber the police nicknamed the I-4 bandit was arrested Tuesday after robbing a bank in Clearwater, according to the police. Robbery of a Wells Fargo branch at 639 South Fort Harrison Avenue was reported at 10:44 a.m., and police said the suspect lost his patience with the teller and climbed over the counter to help himself to the money. Well, at least he's wearing gloves? A witness told police the robber ran for the bank, got into a red Dodge Magnum, and drove away. A few minutes later, a Clearwater detective saw the Dodge at the gas station on Clearwater Largo Road when the detective tried to conduct a traffic stop at West Bay Drive. The driver fled, and the Clearwater Police Department said in a news release. A helicopter from the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office tracked the Dodge as the suspect drove into Bel Air Beach, abandoned the vehicle, and tried to steal a truck on Harbor Drive. The owner of the truck and the suspect fought each other, and the suspect ran off, according to the release. A short time later, just 26 minutes after the robbery was reported, the suspect was caught by K-9 from a sheriff's office. The suspect, identified as David Mark Ratcliffe, 55, was taken to Morton Plain Hospital. He was treated and then taken to Pinellas County Jail to be booked. Ratcliffe, the so-called I-4 bandit, was convicted of robbing 6 banks in Clearwater, Tampa, and Orlando in the late 1990s. He was suspected of committing up to 13 other robberies that happened along the I-4 corridor. Ratcliffe was released from federal custody in June after serving most of a 25-year prison sentence, according to the FBI. By records. Police say he was also suspected of committing bank robberies in Temple Terrace and St. Petersburg earlier this year. Ratcliffe faces multiple charges, including armed robbery, fleeing and eluding, offense against a police K-9, and carjacking without a weapon. This motherfucker punched a police dog. What the actual fuck, dude? Why would you punch a good dog? Wait, no? Hold on. Fuck. There we go. Didn't realize there were black bars. Alright. You know what he reminds me of? The Yarp guy from Hot Fuzz. If any of you've seen that movie. Yarp. Very Florida man of him to get stopped for gas a few miles away from the robbery law. Seems like a rookie move, not getting gas before the robbery. Ah, good old Reddit. They can only understand frames of time with pop culture references. He's been in prison since before The Matrix came out. Fuck off. I do have seen the Shawshank. What? Okay, yeah, no, that guys. What the fuck? Well, ladies and gentlemen, it would appear this website is broken. Floridians mark the end of tropical season by burning hurricane flags. 21 named storms formed during the 2021 hurricane season, and 7 systems went on to become hurricanes, and 4 strengthened into major cyclones with winds of at least 115 miles an hour. Key West, Florida. Florida residents staged the annual burning of hurricane warning flags on Tuesday to mark the end of tropical weather season. The season kicked off on June 1st and ended on the last day of November. The Florida Keys was largely spared through the 2021 season, with a couple of what meteorologists refer to as drive-by segments. At the burning ceremony, Contra Public Administration members offered thanks to the islands, thanks that the islands were spared from significant impact. Before the hurricane warning flags were burned, islanders doused the symbol with rum, a Key West staple. God bless Florida. Residents of South Florida have been counting their blessings these last several years. The last time I reported hurricane-force winds was during Hurricane Irma back in 2017. Irma impacted the Keys as a Category 4 storm with sustained winds over 130 miles an hour and produced a storm surge of around 8 feet. This is not the most Florida-ass picture you've seen all... Whoop. Oh, it just links back to the article. Damn it. This is not the most Florida-ass picture you've seen all week. I'm gonna have to ask you to DM me what it is, because I need that in my life. It would be absolutely hilarious if 5 minutes after they burned the flags, a freak hurricane is announced. The guy who burned it is named Francis. It happens to be the name of the hurricane. He was in cahoots with the hurricane the whole time. Eh. Fuck. Uh, I guess the article is broken. Fuck. We'll go with this one. Florida woman charged with prostitution after offering an undercover cop oral sex for $25 and some chicken nuggets. Now, for those of you wondering if this happen a few years ago, it did. God damn, it's so big. Bradenton, Florida. Florida authorities have charged a woman with prostitution after she agreed to perform a sex act on an undercover detective for $25 and chicken McNuggets. Miami Herald reports 22-year-old Alex Dirino was being held Sunday without bond at the Manatee County Jail on charges of prostitution, possession of drug paraphernalia, and outstanding warrants. Records show that the incident happened last week. A undercover detective told the woman he wanted oral sex and she agreed to do that for $25. As they briefly went back and forth on the price, she finally agreed to perform the act for $25 with chicken McNuggets. It's unclear whether Diareno has obtained an attorney. Police documents did not specify how many McNuggets Diareno was seeking. Florida man should have taken the deal. I always just kind of assumed sex acts and chicken nuggets were how the Florida economy operates. A form of legal tender. I'd have taken the deal. You didn't even ask him for fries and a Coke. What is the world coming to? Inflation's a bitch. Shut up and take my nuggets. Yeah. Florida woman passes gas, pulls knife on offended man, deputies say. Boy, that escalated quickly. Janetta Yvette Wilson farted loudly in store, officials say. Dania Beach, Florida. Florida woman faces aggravated assault charge after authorities say she passed gas in line at a dollar store and pulled a knife on a man who complained about it. Citing a Broward Sheriff's Office report, the Miami Herald reports 37-year-old Shanetta Yvette Wilson passed gas while waiting in line at a Dollar General on Sunday and upset a nearby customer. The report says the offended customer and Wilson got into an argument in reference to the defendant farting loudly. It says Wilson then pulled out a small folding knife out of her purse and told the victim she was going to, quote-unquote, gut him while moving in as if to attack. Wilson was arrested and charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon without intent to kill. It's unclear if she has a lawyer. She's shopping at the dollar store. I don't think she can afford one. What the actual? Assuming it was a poop knife. So they pull knives in her family, not fingers. Farting isn't illegal. If it is, I need to apologize to the judge. Damn it, it doesn't say if she's single. This guy gets it. Fight breaks out among dozen people at Minneapolis airport. Police are investigating a fight that erupted in a terminal at the Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport shortly after a plane had landed from Orlando, Florida. As reported by the Associated Press. Police are investigating a fight that erupted in a terminal at the... Yada, 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 we already read that. About a dozen male and female passengers were involved in the scrape after two large groups of travelers deplaned from a Frontier Airlines flight just before midday Friday, said Patrick Hogan, spokesman of the Airport Commission. I don't have the motivation for the fight yet, Ed Hogan said Monday. That's part of the investigation ongoing. Video of the incident, which lasted just over a minute, was posted on social media and shared by more than 7,000 people by midday Monday, according to the Star Tribune reported. Punches were exchanged among several people, and some of them through Dan Cheong's broke chairs. What the fuck? Oh, those things. I didn't know what they were called. Cool. It broke chairs, Hogan said. Airport police responded to the scene in less than 2 minutes, and the Bloomington police were on hand at the baggage claim to help keep the peace, he said. Injuries appeared to be minor, and all of the people involved in the incident declined to be transported to the hospital for treatment. No arrests have been made, and Hogan said police will assess charges after reviewing video and other evidence. So the question is, are those Floridians going to Minneapolis? Or are those Minneapolisians returning from Orlando? Ain't that the million-dollar question? At least they waited. Manners are getting better down there, it appears. The Minneapolis, thank you. For all we know, they were Minneapolis natives returning home who were fed up with being Minnesota nights. After all, why would anyone leave Orlando to go to Minneapolis in the winter unless they had to? Considering it sounded like a drunken ball, for all my money is on people driving home to Wisconsin. From Orlando, Oh God, I just realized I'm gonna be flying on Frontier next year from Orlando International Airport. Oh God, I'm gonna be on my own show. Fun. So let's watch this video.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shout out to the one in the back who just yeeted his goddamn backpack. Look at that one running away. Coward. See, I have to be careful about what jokes I make here because they would get my ass canceled. I don't know if you just heard the woman record, but I just touched down. Oh my God. Stay classy. Ooh, that. Let's hear that one again. Ooh. God, you can hear that skull crack. We hear that one last time. And look at her. She's putting her whole body weight behind that chair shot. One last time, I want you to pay attention to that poor little girl on the left who's about to come into frame. She just has to stop and take it in. Now, see, if I had been there, I would have yelled something like Grove Street for life and then just elbow drop someone. But this is why I don't get into public street fights. I would fucking die. Okay, we already read this one. This is the one who played Judas and was at the... Florida man stabs woman in the head with a fork over undercooked potato. Why am I still here? And it's Jake fucking Grissom again. Why is it always him? Christ. A man is facing aggravated battery charges. I feel like attempted murder would be more fitting because he stabbed someone in the head. After stabbing a woman in the head with a fork during a disagreement over a potato. Deputies say an argument started when 36-year-old Kenneth Crumpton, I'll crump with you, sweetie, became angry over an undercooked potato on his plate the woman had made. According to deputies, Crumpton then stabbed the woman multiple times in the head with a fork. Investigators say the woman had multiple stab wounds and was bleeding from her head but refused treatment. Crumpton, 36, was arrested and booked into Nassau County Jail. Okay, I don't want to play into stereotypes, but I would like to point out this man has a neck beard. Also, rest in peace, neckbeard. I was finally able to shave yesterday. Something tells me the potato wasn't the real issue. Yeah, I bet she also forgot to get butter at the... This man's brain is an undercooked potato. You don't need the comma there, my guy, but... Sounds like the man doesn't like slap uppy eggs either. Wild and Wonderful Whites of West Virginia, am I right? What the fuck is it? Yeah, he might have overreacted. Meth or booze? Potatoes. The pre-booze. First they undercook your potato, then their divorce lawyer is taking your bass boat. What a dictator. Agitator? Nah, I give up. This spud's for you. He wasn't forking around. Man, this woman is lucky she didn't get turned into a potato from being stabbed in the head. We covered this last week. Moving on. We covered this last minute. Moving on. Florida man stands naked in his driveway throwing rocks at passing cars, deputies say. Multiple witnesses came forward to deputies from Port St. John on Florida. I was about to bust out my god-awful Duke Nukem impression, but I don't got balls of steel. A Brevard County man was arrested for standing naked in his driveway throwing rocks at passing cars, according to an arrest report. Brevard County deputies say that were called to a Port St. John neighborhood Tuesday and found that Dewey? I mean, his last name is obviously Khan. Dewey? Die. Fuck it, Googling this. I want to get this man's name right so that he doesn't stand in my driveway naked. Okay, so it's a Vietnamese name, it looks like. Because when I Googled it, it was like a bunch of stuff on how to pronounce Vietnamese.
C C C C
See,
C C.
See? Okay. Whatever. English is a stupid language. Why can't every other language be as stupid? Sui Khan, 34, standing nude in his driveway in the driveway of his home, records show. Deputies say there were multiple witnesses nearby who saw Khan throwing rocks and hitting cars. Khan is being charged with exposure of sexual organs, jail records show. Beautiful. Shitty fucking. He has a Karen haircut, though. You notice that? I noticed it. Fucking loser. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought this was America. Remember, kids, always wear pants when throwing rocks at cars if you want the police to let you do it. Seems reasonable. Yeah. This is my town. Actually, I drove past the other direction laughing like hell. I'll just go ahead and say he was way more confident than he should have. No, my jelly beans. What? What's this country coming to if a man can't shuck off his clothes and throw rocks on his own property? God! Huge hobby. Cardio's cardio. Khan is being charged with exposure of his sexual organs, jail records show. Ah, so a tiny crime. This guy is a certified Chad. Man needed to get his fucking gains in. Like, how else are you gonna get swole if the femoids are taking up all your time? See, I laugh now. I'm sure this is gonna get horrifying real fast, so we're just gonna get the jokes out of our way. Clearwater, Florida. A Clearwater man was arrested Thanksgiving morning after getting into an altercation with a pair of sisters over using gym equipment, according to the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office. An affidavit states that the sisters were using an exercise machine while the man, identified as 78-year-old Robert Edward Dvorak. Hey, look, 2 first names. Waiting for his turn. Authorities said the man then sat on one woman to use the machine instead. When the other woman told Dvorak to get off their sister, Dvorak pushed the woman away. Deputies said Dvorak admitted to pushing the woman, and witnesses say he was the aggressor. He now faces a charge for simple battery. I mean, my man just wanted to get his dailies in. Ain't nothing wrong with that. It's not like she got hurt, probably. I hope. Tabling the turns never works. Next time, use the weight bench. Alright. I'm sorry, it just... What is this thumbnail? Okay, word of advice. If you're ever being held from in a rear hold like that by someone in your back seat, the trick is to take your chair and lean as far back as you can. Because A, the chair will fly back and hit them. And B, it'll get you out of the chokehold enough to, or at least loosen them up. So you can get your head out and not be choked like a little bitch by grandma. Seriously, look at this motherfucker. You mean to tell me he can't headbutt grandma back? Fuck off. Hey, look, it's Jake Grissom again. Why? It's everywhere. It seems like every week I read multiple stories from this guy. Is he like the only employee at the Free Press that covers Florida Man stories? Because I feel like he's the only man here. Florida woman who bit and choked Uber driver gets 18 months probation. The Florida woman who was caught on camera attacking Uber driver Michael Hassey, 23, pled guilty earlier this week in court. Michelle Stiltwell, 55, pled guilty to battery and disorderly conduct and was sentenced to 18 months probation, an $850 fine, a mental health evaluation, and must have no contact with the victim. Bro, you literally got beat up by a woman twice your age. Take the L. Move on. Your friends are going to be giving you shit about this for the rest of your life. And look at him. He's crying. Like, bro. I mean, this is a 55-year-old woman. Just punch her in the elbow. Sure, you'll fuck up your hand because if you're going to punch someone in the arm, the worst place to punch them is the elbow because that shit fucking hurts. But I think you can hurt grandma more than she can hurt you that way. In April, Stilwell launched an unprovoked attack on Hassey while he was driving near her home in St. Pete. According to deputies, Stilwell reached forward and proceeded to choke the victim from behind, then eventually biting into his neck. Deputies say that Hassey was attempting to call 911 during the attack, but was unable as Hassey continued to bite, scratch, and strangle him by the throat. Witnesses who saw the attack notified police and pulled Stilwell off of Hassey, separating the two until deputies arrived. Witnesses were able to take photos and record parts of the attack. Christ. Look at Grandma here on the right. He's just going full goblin mode. The weak should fear the strong. Beautiful. Fucking beautiful. Okay, yeah, no good comment. That was pretty funny, though. I didn't see anybody. Florida boater found clinging to boat at sea describes ordeal. Stuart B. was rescued from his capsized vessel 86 miles offshore. Boater was found Sunday clinging to the sinking vessel far off Florida's Atlantic coastline, told the U.S. Coast Guard. Or told the U.S. Coast Guard that he didn't think he'd make it back to shore alive. Damn. I didn't see anyone. I thought this is it, Stuart B. said in a call with the Coast Guard released Monday night. B, 62, had been reported missing on Friday after he departed from Cape Marina on his 32-foot boat. Coast Guard officials said B was found clinging to a portion of the capsized boat on Sunday by a passing cargo ship, the Angeles, about 86 miles from Port Canaveral, Florida. We just rescued one person from a capsizing boat at sea. A crew member of the Angeles told the Coast Guard in the call. For the moment, the guy's okay. He's just in accommodation and shock. B later gets on the call to speak to the Coast Guard Lieutenant Sean Antonelli. First and foremost, I'm happy that you are alive and well, and that's great to hear. Here, Antonelli said, I'm sorry for the result in your vessel. B described having mechanical problems on the boat on Saturday night, saying the engine was making squeaky noises. He went to sleep and was woken up by water coming into the boat. The boat started sinking, but a portion stayed afloat, B said. He had emergency equipment in the boat to send out a distress signal and pinpoint his location, but it was underwater. 3 times I tried to hold my breath and swim down and get it, but I couldn't, B. He said he was about to try for a 4th time when he spotted the cargo ship. Then I saw a container vessel in the distance, and then I don't have my glasses. I couldn't see if it was coming to me or not, but I was waving and took my shirt off and waved the shirt periodically. Coast Guard Captain Mark Vaughn said it was an improbable rescue. I can't put into words how shocking it is to saw him out there on the water, 86 miles from shore. Or Vaughn said in an interview with NBC News, a person standing on a bowsprit, kind of it's a made for TV moment. That is the first time I've seen anything like that in my 27 years doing this. This is a truly extraordinary case. Family members were also amazed. This is the first thing he said was, "You're never gonna guess what happened to me," niece Layla Bell said. I'm in disbelief. I can't believe they found him. Motherfucker out here looking like a wet, drowned dog. Like, you ever see a dog fall into a pool and look really sad? That's what he looks like. Fucking hell. Ocean's goddamn beautiful, though. I'm just glad we get a happy story this week, because Christ. What's the over-under on this guy having a thick as hell southern accent?
I was thinking, this is very bad.
A missing boater at sea survives to tell the tale. After a dramatic rescue today, he finally returned to land.
Yeah, that 62-year-old boater was rescued off the coast of Port Canaveral. He was found clinging to his sinking boat.
An amazing story here. NBC6 Marissa Bag has it.
Waterlogged and weathered, but eternally grateful, Stuart B. climbed aboard the container ship Sunday that saved his life. The 62-year-old spent 30 hours clinging to the bow of his nearly sunk boat. It's a wonder the ship's crew even spotted him.
We just rescue one person from a capsizing boat.
I can't even put into words how shocking it is that they saw him out there on that water, 86 miles from shore.
Stewart admits he didn't think he was going to make it. He was exhausted, yet determined, with his arms wrapped around the bow. And then angels appeared in the form of a freighter, literally. The ship that found him is named Angelus.
And then I saw a container vessel in the distance, and I don't have my glasses. I couldn't see if it was coming to me or not, but I began waving and took my shirt off and waved at her periodically.
The U.S. Coast Guard in Miami had sent a distress call to alert vessels offshore to be on the lookout for B and his boat. They're still shocked he was found.
A person standing on a bowsprit is that's almost a made-for-TV moment. That is the first time I've seen anything like that in my 27 years of doing this. That is truly an extraordinary case.
Monday night in the cargo ship's galley, Stewart took this picture with the sailor who rescued him. His family is grateful.
The Coast Guard said the odds were 100.
Does she have blue hair, or is she wearing like a hood or something? I can't tell.
I'm in disbelief.
Stewart is still on board that ship, hitching a ride until its next stop in Delaware. His family plans to meet him there and then bring him home to Florida. Reporting in Fort Lauderdale, Marissa Bagg, NBC6 News.
He was just up there vibing. Let's see if we can hear the distress call. Oh, it's just a JPEG. God damn it. So when do you think the movie based on this guy's life is going to come out? I think it's going to come out sooner. Nope. Not touching it. Okay, look. I just want to preface this by saying I despise the UN. But no. Armed man arrested at UN headquarters after 3-hour standoff. Florida man armed with a shotgun was arrested after a standoff outside the UN's Midtown headquarters on Thursday, police said. God. A man armed with a shotgun was taken into custody Thursday afternoon after a 3-hour standoff outside the UN headquarters Thursday morning, police said. The situation began around 10:40 a.m. when someone inside the headquarters calls 911 to report a man with a gun outside. NYPD First Deputy Commissioner Benjamin Tucker told reporters in a news conference hours later. Hey, look. First names. Moving on. Officers encountered the person identified as a white man in his 60s wearing a red jacket standing on the sidewalk on First Avenue near East 42nd Street holding a shotgun under his chin. The man he was trying to kill himself. Well, this just got a lot less fun. I was hoping this was some Pizzagate bullshit. But nope, he was just trying to end himself. To unalive, rather. Police holding a shotgun under his chin. The man said he had some papers that he wanted to deliver to the UN. NYPD Chief of Operations Harry Waden said. Police later determined the man had traveled from Florida and was staying at the Millennium Hotel on West 44th Street, Tucker said. He has not been identified by authorities, but the police say his motives were appear to stem from mental health issues and are not terror-related. Well, now I just feel bad. Fuck you. Yeah, no, I'm just not. And now for something less depressing, like child abuse. I guess this would be neglect. Florida woman arrested on Thanksgiving, shooting her front door, then leaving baby home alone. That is a fucking word salad if ever I've seen one. I know how to respond to it. Come on, Mom, really? A Florida woman has been charged after shooting a bullet into the front door of her home, then heading to a bar, leaving her baby in the crib at home alone. According to deputies, on Thanksgiving night, a call came in from a concerned woman who had gone to check on her 37-year-old neighbor, Victoria Hidalgo, and saw a bullet lodged in the front door. The woman told investigators she had called Hidalgo and that she sounded as though she was under the influence of alcohol, and said she had fired a gun inside of her home, prompting the woman to head over and check it out. Deputies say that upon arrival, the woman noticed that their shared vehicle was not in its parking spot, then located the bullet in the front door, and was granted deputies access to the residence, where they discovered a child left in a crib unattended. The child was left in the care of a family member, as Victoria's whereabouts were unknown. Major crimes detectives were called into the scene to investigate. During the investigation, detectives learned the vehicle had been stopped by deputies near the intersection of Port Charlotte Boulevard and to Miami Trail. Oh, where does this trail go? To Miami. Florida man is so fucking lazy with names. Victoria was in the front passenger seat of the vehicle when a male identified as Robert Sampson driving. Victoria's eyes were bloodshot and watery, her breath smelled of alcohol, and her speech was slurred while being questioned. Hey, points for not driving drunk. Jury's still out on if her companion was toasted, but at least she wasn't. So, progress. Robert advised that he just met Victoria at the Paddy Wagon Irish pub. Wow. That is an ironic name. That is an ironic ass bar she went to. Charlie Mack and Dennis were. Robert stated he did not know Victoria, but was concerned that she was going to drive in a very intoxicated condition, helping her get home safe. He did not have any knowledge of the situation at home. Victoria was taken into custody and charged with child neglect without great bodily harm. She was taken to Charlotte County Jail and is currently out on bond in the amount of $3,500. Yeah, she's never seeing that kid again. That kid is never being left in her custody as long as she lives. I wouldn't trust her to run a bath, let alone raise a. She's got shooting to do. Being a baby would be unsafe. Also, if someone kidnapped the baby, it might have been better off. Considering some of the posts, she actually acted more responsible than most. She did leave the baby in a crib, not on the street. She handled the gun responsibly. One shot was fired. I think a well-placed shot was all she needed to neutralize the door threat. Thanks to 2A, hey, all is well and free dumb is still free. Fuck you, you smug elitist prick. And you for repeating the joke. Why does she look proud about that? Wow, she does look proud. Jeez. Yeah, I'm just driving her home safely. I totally believe that. Look at this lady. That's the face of a woman who knows she's never going to see her kid again, and she has to hide the pain, that shit. No. I've already covered this story. It got worse. How do we have 2 McDonald's stories this week? Florida man arrested after exposing himself at a McDonald's drive-thru. Hi, Jake Grissom. This is what, your 3rd time appearing today? Something like that. Florida man has been arrested for exposing himself at a McDonald's drive-thru window. On Tuesday, November 30th, over that Polk County Sheriff's Office deputies arrested 34-year-old Charles Lee Cook Jr. of Lakeland, Florida. It is Polk County. God damn. Also 2 first names. Charged him with indecent exposure, misdemeanor class 1, and committing a lewd act, misdemeanor 2, for exposing himself to a juvenile. Oh God, and it was. Please do not whip your dick out at children working at the McDonald's. They've seen bigger. The incident was reported in late September by the manager at the restaurant after Cook, whose identity was unknown at the time, placed an order one morning and proceeded through both drive-thru windows, where he paid for his food, the second window where he picked the food up. Paying for and picking up his food, Cook went through the drive-thru again with a second order. When he arrived at the second drive-thru window, he exposed himself to the juvenile cashier while calling her by the name on the name tag. The cashier immediately closed the window and reported the incident to management, who contacted Polk County Sheriff's Office. At the time, McDonald's employees were unable to identify the suspect and only had a description of his vehicle as a black SUV. However, they did recognize him as a regular customer. When he returned to the restaurant 2 weeks later, they provided deputies with a possible name on his debit card and the tags on his. He was positively identified as Cook, and deputies obtained a warrant for his arrest. He was booked in the Polk County Jail on November 30th and released, posting bond in the amount of $750. Cook admitted to deputies that he committed the act, and he has a criminal history, including a 2014 arrest for battery, domestic violence, and 2017 for transmission of material harmful to a minor and use of a two-way communicator device to commit a felony. The 2017 arrest was made during a Polk County Sheriff's Office undercover sting. We previously arrested Charlie Cook for during an undercover child pornography investigation. He was sending nude images to a 15-year-old girl he had met at his church. Now here he is again, trying to groom and solicit a child. He clearly wasn't rehabilitated or held accountable back in 2017, but we will do everything in our power to ensure that he is held accountable now, Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd said. Fun! How did we get 2 child porn stories in a row? Man, I beat a rabbit badger to death with a frozen fish yesterday and nothing. Florida man performs a realistic meat spit and makes news headlines. I know I'm a Florida woman, this is r/Florida man, but damn it, what do I gotta do? What do I gotta do? Molest Ronald with a tuba on Christmas? Shocked. No one wants to see your McSausage, sir. Arrested for this type of stuff prior, and dude was considered a church. No arrests made after hundreds of children involved in brawl at Tampa Trampoline Park. Tampa, Florida. Parents who take their kids to a trampoline park in Tampa want to know how a fight turned into a massive brawl involving hundreds of children. This escalated very quickly, says according to parent Sandra Bermudez. Started recording on her cell phone when the fight broke out. They were all having fun, then that's when this lady said, "Oh my god," I turn around and there's fighting on the right side. Bermudez said the fighting unfolded when she was at the Sky Zone trampoline park on Adamo Drive with her 9-year-old son. She's not sure what started the fight, but quickly got out of control. For the Hillsborough County Sheriff's deputies, the melee involved around 200 kids, mostly teenagers. In the video, Sky Zone security personnel were seen trying to intervene. The business closed early to move everyone involved outside. Bermudez kept recording as the fight continued in the parking lot. Deputies can be seen responding later in the video. They said the brawl spilled out into nearby businesses and they tried to track down the parents of all those involved. Sheriff's office said they briefly detained and released one child but made no arrests. It's unclear if anyone got seriously hurt. Bermudez is just glad her young son wasn't. I tried to use this as an opportunity to teach that if this ever happens in the future, the first thing is you need to pull yourself away from the crowd, she said. Sky Zone hasn't responded to Fox 13's request for comment, so it's unclear how many security guards were there when the fight broke out or what they may do to try and prevent something like this from happening again. But they didn't provide a video, which is... Damn, hundreds of children in a fight. Florida man, 69, nice, arrested for touching himself in front of deputy at county park, soliciting sex. Florida man has been arrested after touching himself and soliciting an undercover detective for sex at a county park. On Tuesday, November 30th, the undercover detective from the Polk County Sheriff's Vice Unit arrested 69-year-old Donald Wayne Johnson of Lakeland for lewd activities in Saddle Creek Park in Lakeland. Two first names, moving on. Johnson, who was inappropriately touching himself, solicited an undercover male detective to engage in a lewd act. Johnson was issued a trespass order from all county parks for a 10-year period and arrested for offering a lewd act, misdemeanor 2. He was released from jail after posting a $250 bond. Completely unacceptable. Polk County parks are places where family and children go to enjoy the outdoors. They should never have to encounter disgusting acts like these. We'll continue to patrol our public parks and to arrest people who publicly engage in lewd activity. Polk County Sheriff Grady. And then just the obvious Reddit hive mind jokes. Florida man arrested after hitting girlfriend in the face with a burrito. Are we sure that's all that happened? Because look at his fucking mugshot and tell me he didn't get beat up too. Newport Richey, Florida. Law enforcement arrested a Florida man after he hit his girlfriend in the face with a burrito. First Coast News reported that an arrest report said Peter Michael Galacqua, 41, shoved his girlfriend into a chair in the bedroom of a home they shared and threw a burrito at her on February 8th. Deputy found the woman with contents of the burrito spread across her face, neck, and shoulder area. Waldo was arrested on Monday and faces domestic battery charges. That's it? I got nothing. Rough 41. Dude looks 55. Yeah. Why did she wait until the officers got through all that shit on her face and body? They should have arrested her for staying that way for too long. Nobody with sanity chooses to keep the burrito contents on themselves for longer than a minute. Yeah. Let's see if there's anything new. Nope. No news stories. God damn. We have officially set the record for shortest Florida man stream. Because these fucking streams just keep getting shorter and shorter. This one just barely made it past an hour. God damn. These were like 2 hours when I started. What happened? Florida man get calm. Is it the fact I'm now reporting on them and following this shit that they get boring? I don't know. Oh well. I think I'm gonna get out of here for now because that shit I gotta do. I'll see you guys tomorrow when we start a new game. Bye.